Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk, though. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk, though. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. Who You With Kirk. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk, though. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk, though. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk, though. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk, though. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It. Welcome to Speak On It. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It. Welcome to Speak On It. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It. Welcome to Speak On It. I'm in. Welcome to Speak. Welcome to Speak. I'm in. 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 I'm in. Who You With Kirk, dog? Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk, dog. I'm Who You With Kirk, dog. Hopefully y'all had a great day today. What's today? Tuesday. Welcome everyone to the show. Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Twitter. D Live is always in the house, kicking it. You can live chat with us during the show. We're gonna talk about a couple of stories, but first have an announcement. This is from Faith Formula Human Service. Present Hope for the Hungry community food program, drive-through and walk-up distributor tomorrow at June 9th, while supplies last. It's at the old Friendship West campus, which is now the Faith Formula Human Service campus at 616 West Keys Boulevard in Dallas, Texas, 75224. Please wear your mask and arrive early. Boxes will be given. First come, first serve. It's at 2 p.m. tomorrow. 2 p.m. So definitely get there early. You don't need to sign up. First come, first serve. If you are in need of some food, definitely go. And if you know somebody that may be in need for some food, definitely go and be a part of it. And because I know right now a lot of us are struggling right now, so definitely if you know someone that is in need, definitely send them that way. No question asked. Just come up, pick up the box, and keep rolling. So tonight we're gonna hit on Tanrai Holt. I don't know. I guess I said her name right or similar to it. Some of that new age name. We're gonna hit on her a little bit. Then we also gonna talk about John Henry James III. And yeah, I'm gonna talk about him. Marcus Anthony Ertz and Wayne Lee. Winley. We're going to hit on that. Then we also going to talk about Sean Price as well. So now that we got it all started, we can get on it. Start talking about it. You can live chat with us in the chat room. You're more than welcome to chat with us. Please, the only thing we ask that you are respectful and also you come with facts. And on top of that, no conspiracy theories. So definitely feel free to chat live with us. If you are on my personal Facebook page, please go over to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk, dog. Speak On It with Who You With Kirk, dog. For when you do chat, I can see it in the chat.
I can see it in the chat room, and I can put your comments up on the stream. So, uh, trying to get it up on the put it up on the stream for y'all can okay, we got it up now. So the, all right. So you can actually go over to my personal page on Facebook and you can actually chime in. Um, reason why I'm bringing this story up about uh, Tiana, whatever her name is, Hope, bringing it up for one reason. With all the states trying to lighten up the gun laws, this is a prime example why it shouldn't be. Because everybody who is able to get a gun don't mean they mentally should be able to carry one. Because some people, they do the wrong things with it. And unfortunately, with Miss Hopes, um, it's one of those situations where um, look like it's going to cost her sister life. So this actually happened over the weekend. 18-year-old on life support after sister accidentally shoot her in the face. Police say happened in Miami. A Georgia woman visiting South Florida accidentally shot her teenage sister in the face while handling a gun inside of a car. The shooting occurred Sunday night on a Miami Beach road. The Miami Herald reported Tanya Hope, 24, of Atlanta, has been arrested and charged with neglect that inflict personal injury and improper exhibiting of a firearm. The victim identified by an arrest report as 18-year-old Drayden Ponder remained on life support Monday. According to the arrest report, Hope told detectives her sister, and two other women were recording videos of themselves with cell phone inside of a 2019 Jaguar while Hope handling a 9mm gun owned by one of the other women. Hope says she racked the firearm and watched a live round eject. Believed the gun was unloaded. She said she handed to her sister, but the gun fired and hit Ponder. Hope was being held without bond. Jail record said no attorney is listed. With these gun laws, they're trying to make it easy for people to carry guns. This shouldn't be, for the simple fact. And in reading this story, because I read different articles on it, reading this one, she thought she cleared the chamber. But it sounded like to me what she didn't do is pull the clip out of the chamber. Now, the problem is with this, you shouldn't be playing with a gun. No way. It's not a toy. It's definitely not a toy. Now you have to live with the rest of your life. One report said they don't expect the sister to make it. So now you have to deal with this for the rest of your life. Now, she didn't own the gun, but that gun owner should be held responsible too. Because if she was licensed to carry a gun, why are you playing with the gun to make a video? It doesn't make sense. And as long as they keep allowing people to purchase gun with no training, these are the type of incidents that's going to happen, and it's going to get worse. Not only with these incidents, but also with the fact that people will be targeting people just for the simple fact that they have their gun on them. I seen a video the other day. This young man at a convenience store waiting in line to pay for his items. Well, he had his gun out, had it on display. Somebody who was standing behind him decided to come up and snatch his gun. Decided to snatch his gun and run out the store. Because the thing is, you got to be on top of your game if you're going to carry a gun like that. If you are on my personal page, please go over to the podcast page. Speak on it with Who You With Kurt Dog. That's on Facebook. Definitely do that. For when you chat live with us, we can actually display your message, and I can actually see when you send a message. Welcome to the show, Radio Chaos. Thank you for always tuning in, supporting the show. He asked, do people have to have insurance to own a gun? It's recommended, but it's not mandatory. So, yeah, it's recommended that you do carry insurance whenever, if you own a gun. It's definitely recommended. But in this incident, it didn't make a difference if she had insurance or not. They was playing with the gun. You are 24 years old. Shouldn't be playing with a gun. You should have enough sense. Hate what happened? I seen one article where they said they probably going to charge her with a manslaughter for the shooting. Now, they didn't say anything about the gun owner, because the gun owner gave them permission to play with the gun so they can make videos. But you got to realize, this is not a game. A gun is not a game. And if you don't know how the proper training of controlling a gun, you definitely should not be playing with it. And even if you had a proper training, you shouldn't be playing with it either. To be honest with you, a gun is not a toy. And lied to be what it's for protection. But now she's going to have to live with shooting her sister for the rest of her life. Even with racking the bullet out of the chambers. Sound like to me the clip was still in there. That's telling me you didn't have enough knowledge about the gun to know to pull the clip out. But you didn't have enough knowledge that you shouldn't even be playing with a gun. I understand y'all on a road trip and you need that protection. That's great. But you making videos to display you have a gun is stupid. There's no other way to put it. That's just stupid. And if that owner actually have her license to carry, well, she's probably finna lose them because she gave y'all permission to do it. And if she don't have her license to carry, guess what? She probably can never get them. I'm just saying, that's just stupid. Grown folks doing stupid things. And I'm not calling her stupid, but her action was just reckless and stupid. It's not a game. Um, exactly. You should not even, if you're not prepared to use that gun, you shouldn't even pull that gun out. Not unless you're at a gun range or if you know how to properly clean that gun. And that's a problem. That's why I feel like the laws is a terrible thing. Yeah, I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, we could carry our guns." But what steps you're gonna take to do it properly? So that's just terrible. Unfortunately, one report I read, they not expecting this young lady to make it. She was shot in the head, and it's a slim chance whenever you shot in the head, and it was at close range because they was in a car. So that's just that's just not good. Um, and the young lady gonna have to live with that. We have to be smarter than that. We have to be. Um, yeah. Radio said a young girl got her face blown off at a party when people were fooling around with a shotgun. Any type of gun, any type of weapon, you don't need to play around with it. It's not a toy. Having a gun is not something you need to be displaying and showing people, oh, I have a gun. I have this. I have that. It doesn't make you a superhero or invisible. It's going to be an issue. This is a prime example why it shouldn't happen. Matter of fact, I think it was the sheriff down in Florida when Texas talked about um, passing the law here for the guns. He said that's the worst thing they can ever do. Just like a lot of police um, departments here are saying, look, that's one of the worst things they could do. It's going to make the job harder because you don't know who have good intention and who have bad intention. And it's going to be some lawsuits come out because you're gonna find some incidents where someone have doing everything right, but you get this one cop that want to come up and target someone because of the gun. That's going to become harassment because they're going to lie, like we seen many officers lie before about um, falsifying their documents, which is a crime. But they don't push that issue. When you lie on legal documents to have charges ramped up, and that's a crime. You should be held accountable for it. So that's an issue. That's an issue, a big issue. Um, Praying for that young lady and her family, and the other young ladies that was in the car, because that's something I would never want to see. Y'all drove several hours to get down there. Whole trip room. Whatever fun y'all had, it's over. It was over. So hopefully, man, that's a rough one. Um, but I just feel everybody should not have a gun. Everybody not not bright enough to carry a gun properly. That's my opinion. Let me know how y'all feel about it, because for me, that was a prime example why certain people should not carry guns. It's going to be more incidents like this happen. It's going to be, I feel it's going to be more shooting to take place, because a lot of people is on the edge. You get somebody to look at somebody wrong, next thing you know, they shooting every day. Here in Dallas, it's at least a couple of shootings here in the Metroplex. Last night in Deep Ellum, or in Uptown, someone, an employee was getting off work. She walking, leaving her job, walked right into a gunfight and was shot. They expect her to survive. It's already like the Wild Wild West here, and they making it worse. So yeah, it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. That's why we need to change our leaders. That's exactly why, because they don't care. Radio said, I agree. People think they have great judgment, but find out the hard way with guns. It's going to be a lot more arrests happen once that law go into effect. It will be a lot of arrests with it, for the simple fact people don't know, they don't understand. Just because somebody cuts you off, they don't give you the right to pull your pistol. Now, if you pull it and I don't know what's that out there doing. You pull your pistol, but you turn around and don't use it. Guess what? You could be brought up on charges then for banishing a weapon. So that's something else you got to look at. You need to know the laws. You need to know the laws, because if not, you're going to find yourself in a world of trouble. So it's definitely completely different than what it was back in the days. If this law, when and if this law passed, it's going to be hard. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. Actually, yeah, we have another story before that. They caught the guys that shot a 6-year-old last week in California in a road rage. Yes. Matter of fact, we could talk about it now. I'll skip the stories around. But yeah, it's a male and a female, Marcus Anthony Ertz and Wen Lee. And to be honest with you, I don't know if you've seen his picture, but he looked like he was strung out on something. Unfortunately, he looked like I don't know. So in Orange County, the suspect in the killing of Aiden Leos, the 6-year-old boy who was shot on an Orange County freeway last month, have been charged, official announced Tuesday. Marcus Anthony Ritz, 24, has been charged with felony murder and discharge of a gun at an habit drilling with sentencing enhancement for causing death. County District Attorney Todd Splitz said at an afternoon news conference. Wen Lee, 23, was charged with accessory after the fact and concealing a firearm in the vehicle. Authority believe Lee was the driver and Rich was the gunman. The vehicle A white Volkswagen has been recovered, and the weapon have too. In a civilized community, we should be able to drive our kids to school and not worry that they're going to be shot in the back. Orange County Supervisor Katrina Foley said at the press conference, the two defendants, both residents of Costa Mesa, made a brief virtual court appearance in Orange County on Tuesday. A judge agreed with prosecutor request to increase Rick's bail from $1 million to $2 million and set Lee bail to $500,000. Those bail amount could be revisited when they return to court for an arrangement expected June 18th. Lee had initially been booked on murder charge, which prosecutor decided not to pursue against her in favor of a lesser charge. Spitz said the charge reflects her alleged behavior after the shooting rather than during the event leading up to the shooting when she was believed to be driving. We all agreed that with respect to Miss Lee, the evidence supported a filing of her behavior after the weapon was fired, but not with respect to conduct leading to the event, Spitz said. If convicted on all counts, Rich faced a maximum sentence of 40 years to life, while Lee could be sentenced to 3 years in state prison and 1 year in county jail, according to the DA office. Spitz on Tuesday emphasized that no other individual were considered suspect in the case, and he asked for any harassment based on social media rumor to stop. They might be family members or whatever, the DA said. I'm asking you to leave those people alone. They are not being looked at as criminal. Aiden was buried Monday in a private ceremony. The more than 2 weeks manhunt came to an end Sunday with the arrest of Ritz and Lee at their home in Costa Mesa, according to California Highway Patrol. Aiden was killed May 21st while his mother was driving him to kindergarten. The boy was sitting in a booster seat on the right rear passenger side. Then someone in another vehicle opened fire between 7:55 and 8:15 a.m. on the northbound 55 freeway between the 22 freeway and Chapman Avenue. Aiden was rushed to the Children's Hospital of Orange County, where he was pronounced dead. That's terrible. Once again, we need stronger gun laws. Yeah, it may not prevent people from getting guns, but I think before you allow them to get guns, I think people should be required to take training first. Complete a training, complete the background before they ever go to the store to try to get a gun. Do the background check first. And then if they pass, allow them to do it. The training in the background, and then allow them to purchase a gun then. But I'm telling you, I can see there's going to be a lot more of this going on. 6-year-old boy had a future in front of him. It's gone. It's gone. Mother have to live with that. And I could just imagine the pain that she's dealing with of having to bury her baby. But people don't think about all of that. They don't think about it. Hopefully they be held accountable and justice is served for that family. I don't know what it is tonight, but these stories about the kids being injured or people doing crazy things with kids is just kind of crazy. This next story, yeah. He ended up, yeah, this one is really crazy. Florida man charged with child abuse after throwing infant at police officer in a high-speed chase. Florida man faced some serious felony charges after he decided to throw a 2-month-old baby at a police officer following a high-speed car chase. I don't know if y'all seen the video, but he did some dangerous stuff. And at the end, when he got out the car, had the 2-month baby, you can hear somebody in the video saying he have a child. And while the police chasing him, he just tossed the baby to the sheriff office, to the deputy, as if it was a basketball or something. And luckily, the sheriff caught her. He was in the right position to catch that child. Radio said people are losing their damn mind. Exactly. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. But if you have the opportunity of looking at that chase, I watched it about 2 or 3 times because I'm like, no, he didn't throw that baby. I know he didn't. He did. He threw that baby. So people are losing their mind. 36-year-old John Henry James III faced 2 felony counts of aggravated child abuse after a 2-month-old infant at a deputy on May 26, the Indian River County Sheriff Office report. James threw the baby after taking cops on a 40-minute chase through resident neighborhood, New York Post report. You can't throw a baby at us and expect us to treat you with kid gloves, Sheriff Eric Flowers said. The chase kicked off on State Road 60 in Vero Beach, Florida, after an officer tried to pull James over for an alleged failure to maintain a lane. Law and Crime report. Instead of stopping, James sped past a group of officers, striking one of their vehicles. He then dodged a number of roadblocks put in place to stop him and avoid at least one stop stick deployment. He ran over another set of stop stick, but they failed to disable the vehicle, the police department said. After being boxed in at an apartment complex, James made an exit from the car with the baby in tow. As he bailed out of his car, he grabbed the 2-month-old boy who had been in the car with him and threw the child in the direction of a deputy, the department alleged. That deputy successfully caught the child and was able to relocate the baby to safety. After throwing the baby, James fled on foot. As cops pursued him, he continued to resist arrest and allegedly kicked and bit at deputies and struggled when being loaded into the back of a deputy cruiser. The statement said a large group of residents gathered around the deputy, forcing us to call for backup to assist in crowd control. Um, Henry's being held without bond, which he should be. He faced several other felony offenses, including aggravated battery on the officer, firefighter, EMT, battery, reckless driving, and resisting arrest with violence. And I don't, I think it wasn't exactly 40 minutes, but it was about 8 minutes long. But at the end of it, once they got him in cuffs, they had the mics on and they like, hey, stop resisting. We're gonna put you in handcuffs. We're gonna get you up out of here. Then he starts saying, he can't breathe, he have asthma. Okay. So the cop said, okay, we finna take you. I think they met the fire department around the corner for their safety because a lot of people started coming outside and they was encouraging him to stop resisting. The residents of the complex kept saying, hey, stop resisting. Just go ahead and go to jail, man. Stop resisting. But when they got around the corner, he kept saying he can't breathe, need to raise the window down. He can't breathe, he have asthma. And he said, I'm about to get you some help. They get him out the car. Of course, he did not do what he wanted, what he should have done. EMT trying to check him out. I heard someone say that he just kicked him. I think it was a deputy or somebody, but he put up a fight then. So they did what's right, took him to the hospital and had him checked out. And once he was cleared, he was booked into jail. Look, you could have avoided all of that. Shit just gave up, went to jail. You wasn't gonna get away. No way you could have got away. Should have took it like a man. And you probably would have been home that same night instead of running for 40 minutes. It don't make sense. Cal, I seen you fleared up in. I was in the middle of talking, so welcome to the show. Then Radio said, welcome to Cal also. Oh, he said E.T. Cal. Yeah, but that's some craziness that's been going on across the world where some of these people, I don't understand it. If the police is behind you, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get away, especially if they have Air One on top of you. You might get away from the police for a minute, but that helicopter, you're not finna outrun them. It's not gonna happen. Just give up. You're putting a lot of people's lives at risk, including your own lives. Yeah. I didn't hear the radio chatter that much, but I think he either hit a unmarked car or a civilian car that was coming down the road, and he ran the light or the stop sign and kind of sideswiped them. But everything he did, they're gonna go back and look at that entire video, and those charges keep adding up. But then you go and you assault a police officer, firefighter, EMT, danger to a child for 40 minutes. For 40 minutes. And then on top of that, he running from the cops. I would like to know how the mother feel about that. That's what I would like to know, because her child could have been killed in this crash. Matter of fact, when he tossed that 2-month-old baby to the officer, and it could have. I would love to know how the mother feel. And where was the mother? We got to know who we leaving our kids with. That's that all. It's not good at all. And um, yeah, I think now we need to ask everybody who have, well, I don't know if he had driving license or not, but everybody who think they can drive shouldn't be driving. So add that along with the gun laws. So, oh, that's the wrong one. So it came out today. Another arrest been made in the terrorist attack on January 6th. Yeah, it sounded like this guy had no plan, none whatsoever. He probably already had a warrant out. Then he probably also, along with the warrant, he probably had didn't have no license, no insurance or something. Probably not even supposed to be driving. I don't know. I don't know the guy. But I think it should have been one of those situations where he should have just pulled over. That would have been the easiest thing for him to do. Just pull over, take your punishment, do your time, get back out. Do better next time. But he had absolutely no idea what he was going to do. He just wanted a joyride. And then again, the car could have been stolen. Who knows? I don't know. It didn't say in that particular report, but the car could have been stolen. I don't know. Allegedly stolen. Let me say that because I don't know. Allegedly stolen. So today it came out, and I'm gonna say this again. I know we haven't talked about it that much lately, but they still making arrests for the terrorist attack that happened on January 6th, which they should. They definitely should. And so today, Sean Price number got picked, and he was picked up today. Rockaway Turnpike Proud Boy member charged for role in deadly Capitol riot. A Rockaway Township man who officials said is a member of the far-right Proud Boys group was arrested and charged Tuesday for his aggressive role in the deadly U.S. Capitol riot on January 6th, said a federal prosecutor at a hearing hours after the arrest. Sean Price, 26, brought goggles, milk, and other substance used to neutralize the effect of pepper spray or other chemical irritation on his trip to Washington. On January 2nd, Catherine Murphy, an assistant federal prosecutor in New Jersey, said a hearing in Newark, Price, formerly of Hopatcong and Sioux County, has been accused of helping to push a crowd forward into a line of officers that were working to secure the Capitol building. A federal judge in Newark ordered Price released on a $100,000 unsecured appearance bond. $100,000 unsecured. So he got out with no money. He will be monitored with an ankle device by a pretrial service supervisor who will also set a curfew. Prosecutors said Price admitted to authority at the time of his arrest early Tuesday morning at his Rockaway Township home that he brought neutralizing substance with him to the Capitol. Price was charged with obstruction of Congress, which carry a penalty of up to 20 years in federal prison, entering a restricted building or grounds, disorderly conduct, and obstruction. Price appeared from an office in an undisclosed location and wore sweatpants and a black sweatshirt. He appeared calm and casual during the virtual hearing before Judge Mark Falk, a federal judge in Newark. Prosecutor did not ask for Price to be detained, but asked for a curfew and a GPS ankle monitor. Beery contests the need for this client tracking, stating he has lived with family in Rockaway Township for 7 years and didn't see any reason he would flee. Yeah. If he were going to flee, perhaps he would have fled, as people in New Jersey were getting arrested for these type of offenses. They were confirmed in New York Herald that prosecutor alleged Price is a member of the Proud Boys, a group with a history of violent confrontation. Official claimed the group has ties to white supremacy, but member denied any such operation. The government pointed to previous cases involving violence filed against Price to support various conditions upon his relief. Price has a history of violent behavior as recent as December, where he was bragging about engaging in violence, Murphy said. He also has conviction of terroristic threat and simple assault, both in Sioux County. Murphy said he was sentenced to probation in 2015 for terrorizing two individuals, according to court records. In prior New Jersey Herald report, the guilty plea stemmed from a violent robbery in December 2013. But they let him out. Let him out on bond with a record like that. Bewick said also represent James Breen, Little Ferry, and James Fairlamb of Stockholm, both facing charges stemming from the Capitol riot. Federal prosecutors have charged more than 465 individuals in more than 40 states with involvement in the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol, and arrests continue almost daily. USA Today reported as of Tuesday afternoon, Price case will be transferred to a federal court in Washington, D.C., where all cases stemming from the Capitol riot are being heard. He is suspected to have an initial hearing there next week. Lori Comstock can also be reached on Twitter. So with somebody with a record like that, why are you just gonna let him out? That don't make sense to me. And you let him out, but with a flap on the wrist. Someone who been guilty of terroristic threats, violent toward other people, but you just get them slap on the wrist. I could just imagine if that would have been members of Black Lives Matter protest or anything like that. I could just imagine how the book would have been thrown at them. Which at this point, if you was a part of that terrorist attack on the 6th, you shouldn't have freedom. You shouldn't have freedom at all, because if it was any other terrorist Um, they will be held captured until they go to court because you was there. You wouldn't get bail if it was anybody else. They would not give you bail. That would not be an option. Just like any other terrorist, that would not be a option at all. But once again, I guess it depends on what you're trying to do and who's supporting you, who you have in your corner. I seen the Dallas Morning News had tweeted a story earlier, and I didn't read it because they want me to pay for the news article. I'm not going to do that. But they had the headline read, um, Radio Your Homeboy said that the um, they're more harder on the protests that for the January 6th protests, harder on them than what they are on the BLM protest last year. Far as I know, they didn't storm the Capitol. Matter of fact, if it was a protest close to the Capitol, they had National Guard and state police lined up on the stairs, making sure no one came up those stairs. Now, I could just imagine if that was a BLM protest, what would have happened? I think it would have been a different headline. Because soon as they breached that door, guess what? They would have been shot dead. Matter of fact, once they came up the steps, I feel like it would have been a different headline. It would have been, oh, BLM is outrageous. They're a terrorist group, because that's what a lot of you call BLM, a terrorist group. Now, what they did on January 6th was a terrorist act. So that would make them a terrorist group. So once again, who is this? Who's the terrorist? Yeah, it's individual that been with BLM that shows up, pretend to be a part of the depends to be a part of the peaceful protest, and then they decide to do some things, and that's when the looting started and stuff like that, and people started stealing and burning stuff up, which is wrong, and they should be held accountable too. But while Trump was president, Trump said, as for BLM protests, they start looting, we start shooting. But he was quiet when it came down to them attacking Capitol Hill. He had nothing to say. I think he finally made a statement and said, "It's good people." Uh, no, he asked them, "Y'all just go ahead and go home," like it was okay. But he didn't say, like he said with BLM, they start looting, we start shooting. So that's a poor excuse for a leader. For the Black Lives Matter protest, they're protesting because of all the black people that been killed, unarmed killing by policemen. You tell them, you start looting, we're gonna start shooting. But here it is, these folks that supported you get upset because you lost and you encourage them to do it. You tell them it's okay, just go ahead and go home. But they attack Capitol Hill, attack Capitol Hill. And you felt like it was okay. You encouraged them to do it. You encouraged them. Radio said Cruz has no clue about anything when it comes to protests. None whatsoever. I'm sure that story will be all on the media tomorrow. It'll be online. I'll be able to find it with different outlets. Um, but yeah, that's what the headline was. Said, I think it said Ted Cruz said that Capitol Hill riders have been treated harsh than the BLM riders from last year. And I'm like, really? Anybody that destroys somebody's property is wrong. They should be held accountable. I don't care who you are. You go out there and destroy somebody else's property, you need to be held accountable. But when you trying to overturn our election by force, that's a terrorist attack. And you should be held accountable. These folks getting off a flap on the hand, getting able to go on trips, go out the country, all of that. But if that was any other terrorist, would they get the same treatment? No, they won't. He probably is. He probably is. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. He look like he probably do uh diet Dr. Pepper. Or something. But yeah, he probably is on now he probably a Diet Coke person. Probably is on Trump diet and just drink a case a day. But that's what we have to deal with. Kind of make me think about last night when the guy using a fake account saying that um, I talk about race too much. Well, guess what? As long as racist things continue to happen, I'm going to continue to talk about it. Because if we don't talk about it, just like they trying to whitewash our history, the history of America, they will whitewash the race that is going on. We have to make people aware of what's going on. That's why I encourage anybody, any story I talk about, you can always research it. You can pull the story up for yourself and read it. And you will see what I'm talking about. I'm not making this up. Um, oh, they never, when I did answer the one time, they hung up. Then they called back because they didn't say their name. They called back and they mumbled something. But when I answered, I asked them what the hell they want. They hung up again. After I got off the air, they stopped calling. So they never did call back, which is fine. I'm like, hey, you want to waste your time like that? You know what? Hey, I have rules. You call into the show, don't block your number out. I don't call you back. I won't call you back. You block your number, I just won't answer. But if you also call in, you need to be respectful. You definitely have to be respectful. If not, click, you wasted your time. I don't have time to play. Life is too short. I guess they did get the point because soon as it went off air, bam, they stopped calling. So, but that's what people do. What's going on? Marcella Smith fled up in the house on a Tuesday. It's about to go down on a Tuesday. um, yeah, so Marcellus, you are in Louisiana. Got a question for you. Do Louisiana have an open carry law, or are they thinking about passing a gun law where anybody can carry a gun there? I'm just kind of curious about that. I know y'all carry rifles and stuff in your back windows, but I'm just kind of curious about the gun part, where they can open carry and don't need a permit, don't need any training or anything like that. Are y'all able to do that? And also I seen there was a tornado hit. Well, it was in Tyler, but hopefully y'all didn't get any residue from that. Wasn't in the path of it. But yeah, that's what it's all about. Um, leave the babies alone. Leave the babies alone. I don't know what that dude was thinking. The police chase with the child. The sister playing with the gun. And I don't know if her sister survived or not, but they did say. Uh, um, so I don't know if she if they taken her off of life support yet. Man, that got to be something hard to deal with. Um, Marcella said, I think they just passed an open carry bill. Don't quote me on that, though. T-Cal, speaking of Marcella, Radio said, I will bet money he has a Born to Lose tattoo on his arm. Talking about Cruz or which one? And he probably, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Wouldn't surprise me at all. But yeah, it's crazy. Oh, excuse me. But I'm trying to see if um oh hell, and now we just need Miss Risky to show up, and then that'll fill the game up then. Um, um, oh yeah, the guy in the car chase. Yeah, he probably made some bad decision. That's all it is. Bad decision that cost him. That cost him a lot. And unfortunately, I definitely hate to. You have a 2-month-old child in a car. First of all, was the child even in a car seat? Because when I seen the child, he wasn't. Um, so I'm just kind of curious. Why I want to do what? Have Miss Risky to come in and complete the game. She texted me earlier and telling me about the history for this week. So she working on some stuff, but she may be listening. I don't know. Sometimes she just pop up. She kind of like a Candyman. You say her name more than 3 times, she'll show up. And which one, T-Cal? The guy that was on the police chase, or the sister that accidentally shot her sister in the face in Miami from Georgia. Um, so it's a lot of strange stories and guns. I'll run through them real quick. The first story was Tanya Hope out of Atlanta, Georgia. Her and her girls went down to Miami this weekend where they was playing with a gun. She said she racked the gun back and she seen a bullet fly out, but it went off. Sound like to me she left the clip. She left the clip in the gun, and when she racked it back, she thought it was unloaded. Knowledge of how to a gun, not thinking the clip was in there, she racked it back, and another one just went back in the chamber. That's why I feel like we need to have stronger gun laws when it comes down to just making it open carry for everyone. It's just not the same. Um, and then we talked about um, what about the other one? It was the brother that led the police on a 40-minute chase with a 2-month-old child in the car. And when he got surrounded at this apartment complex, he get out the car, grab the baby, and you can hear someone saying, "Hey, he have a child, he have a child." And he tossed the child to a deputy, to a sheriff deputy, and luckily he caught the baby. But the baby is only 2 months old, and he ended up going to jail, charged with abuse of a fire EMT, policeman, child endangerment, um, all type of charges is up on him. Well, he's in jail now with no bond, which he should be. Um, but it all started because I think they said he was kind of going in and out of the lane or something, and kind of side swapped a patrol car, and the chase was on. 40 minutes later, they had no idea that this child was in the car until it was over. And I would love to know how the mother feel about it, because that's the biggest key right there. How does she feel about it? Because if it was uh, someone I was dating or married to, do some reckless stuff like that, well, guess what? You going to jail or prison for you to. Well, if I'm dating somebody, she'll be going in there for big birthday, but our relationship will be over. Now, that would be crazy, putting our child or a child in danger in the first place. And apparently, you wanted to go back to jail for whatever reason. Um, Radio said, I've never been in a car chase. I don't seem to have a problem avoiding them. Hey, I never been in one either. I never been arrested or anything, but I came close to one time. Came very close. Um, so that was kind of crazy. Bot Spring, Texas. Yep. Um, I think I told that story before on the show. TCAT said it all sound crazy. That that one. What? Yeah. TCAT said correct as he should be. In Bot Spring, Texas, this happened. I think I was maybe 18, 19 years old. Not quite sure how old I was. I had an old Plymouth Horizon. I don't know if y'all know about Plymouth. No, I didn't have a Plymouth Horizon. I had just got a car. I had a dealership. Haven't had the car a week yet, and I had dealer tags on it. Well, one of my friends, um, took well, his mom needed to go over to her boyfriend house. So he rode with me to take him and his sister, go over there. Me and him stayed outside, sat in the car. But they went in there, whatever she went there for, or whatever. And we started seeing these policemen passing by. I'm like, man, they finna F with us. And I said, yeah, I already know it. It's all good. We straight. As soon as we left that complex, the cop pulled us over. Well, we was going down Elam, and as we was going down Elam, now his mom and his sister is very light skinned. So from a distance, you would think it was two Caucasian chicks in the car with us. That's how light skinned it what they are, and it was dark. They could tell it was two black guys in the car, but then you had two very light skinned females. Um, so we're going down Elam, and I said, "Damn, there you go." And so they say, "Yeah." So we driving. I'm following all the rules and stuff, and the little sister looked back, said, "Here they come." Then she turned around. He cut his lights on. And she was a teenager. She was much younger than us. He was like, "Oh, they got you." And that's what she said. After she said, "Here they come," said, "Oh, they got you." So I pull over, ask, "What's the problem?" Now you have a dealer tag back there that is out there. I said, "Man, I just got this car a couple of days ago." Um, so the dealer tag is good. And so he kept asking questions, and finally he was like, "Well, I seen y'all back there at that apartment complex." I said, "Yeah, we seen you passing by. What's the problem?" He was like, "Well, what were y'all doing over there?" I said, "As you seen, it was two of us sitting in the car, him and myself. His mom and his sister had went in to see the mom boyfriend. So we was waiting for them to come out instead of going up there. Well, I need to check y'all ID. Need to check everybody ID in the car." So if you check mine, I know I'm clean. And he kept digging, trying to find something to get me a ticket on. Then he told me, "Well, this dealer tag is not legal." And I said, "Okay." So he gave me a ticket for that. Unfortunately, my partner, he had a warrant. Yeah. So they took him to jail. He asked me about the ticket. And I said, "Man, this what I talk about is not new because I've dealt with the police quite a bit. I've been racial profiled quite a bit. And in this particular situation, it was another racial profile. And I called it like I said, I've always been that way." And I said, "Yeah. Um, I think the only reason why you stopped us because we was black. You seen two black men sitting in the car. And I understand this may look suspicious, but once we told you what it was all about, you should have went on by your business. But other than that, you keep on trying to dig." I think I told him, "Yeah, you part of the clans or something." Then he told me, "Well, I'm offended by you saying that." I said, "Well, if the shoe fit, I don't care." Um, but I didn't want to sign the ticket. And finally, my friend said, "Man, go and sign the ticket because I'm going to jail and you don't need to go." So I decided to sign the ticket. But when I got down there, we went down there to him out, and it was cool. They were good. Man, forget that what they did was wrong. That was wrong. And the only reason why they pulled me over was because I was black. And from my understanding, that city finally changed a little bit because they harassed a black man that was cutting his grass or something. And they came up and harassed him. several times. And also, I think they ended up arresting him or something, and he filed the lawsuit. And when they paid out that lawsuit, they stopped doing it. And so that was a different thing. So it's a complete different. When people say, "Oh, you talk about race all the time, but you haven't walked in my shoe even a footstep. You haven't gone through the things I've been through. I've gone to where, um, because of who I was dating at the time, and they will pull me over every time she was in the car with me. And the questions they would ask, are you okay? Is he holding you against your will? Is he abusive to you? Did he do this, do that? How good do you know him? And I'm like, really? So they would always harass me. I've talked about the time where me and my best friend at the time, standing outside our apartment, we're just standing out there talking early one morning. Cop said he was new to the beat, said he wanted to get to know each other. We um, introduced ourselves, shut the man hand. That wasn't good enough. He wanted to run our license. I said, you don't need to run our license to get to know a person. We told you who we are. I'm out here with no shoes on, with my uniform on, and I told you who I was. So what you need to run our license for? And as I started to get loud with him, people started coming outside. He decided to leave. So don't tell me I sound like a racist. Yeah, I'm to you, I may sound like one, but until you experience some of the things I've gone through, it's a completely different story. I have many of stories of racial profiles I've been involved in just because the color of my skin and the way that officers have target me because they feel like I'm a threat. I talked about this a while back. I think it was back in February when I ended up having to call my mom and my sister 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm on my way to work on a Saturday morning, all because one cop seen me driving a brand new vehicle. And he tried to say that the vehicle came back stolen, which I knew it was a lie. But like I told him, I said, take a good look at this face. You pulled over the wrong black man this morning. You haven't seen the last of me. They don't know who I know or anything like that. But I had people to lead and guide me the right way to make a formal complaint. And I hand delivered letters to each one of their supervisors. And I made sure I dropped theirs off last because they came in at 10. And as they came out of the briefing for the night, and they opened the door, and the young lady told the supervisor, this young man would like to talk to you. And they walked out and looked at me. I looked at them and I said, look, I told you, you stopped the wrong black man that night. Hand delivered the letters to their supervisor. And they thought they seen a ghost. You never know who a person know or anything like that. If you treat everybody the way that you want to be treated, this world will be a better place. So, um, other than that, I appreciate y'all for tuning in tonight. Uh, Wednesday night, tomorrow, I think we'll hit on some stories, but then we'll also do Ask Her Dog Anything. Probably depends on how many stories we have come out. But y'all know, 2 days, who will be here? Miss Risky. She will be in the house. So we will be looking toward that. And so other than that, I love each and every one of you. You have a great night. Until tomorrow night, if the good Lord say the same. Peace.